ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਦੁਰਲਭ ਜਨਮ ਪੁੰਨ ਫਲ ਪਾਇਓ, ਬਿਰਥਾ ਜਾਤ ਅਬਿਬੇਕੈ। ਰਾਜੇ ਇੰਦਰ ਸਮਸਰ ਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਆਸਨ, ਬਿਨ ਹਰ ਭਗਤ ਕਹੋ ਕਹਿ ਲੇਖੈ। ਦੁਰਲਭ ਜਨਮ ਪੁੰਨ ਫਲ ਪਾਇਓ, ਬਿਰਥਾ ਜਾਤ ਅਬਿਬੇਕੈ। ਰਾਜੇ ਇੰਦਰ ਸਮਸਰ ਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਆਸਨ, ਬਿਨ ਹਰ ਭਗਤ ਕਹੋ ਕਹਿ ਲੇਖੈ। ਨਾ ਵਿਚਾਰਿਓ ਰਾਜਾ ਰਾਮ ਕੋ ਰਸ, ਜਿਹ ਰਸ ਅਨ ਰਸ ਬੀਸਰ ਜਾਹੀ ਰਹਾਉ। ਜਾਨ ਅਜਾਨ ਭੈ ਹਮ ਬਾਵਰ, ਸੋਚ ਅਸੋਚ ਦਿਵਸ ਜਾਹੀ। ਇੰਦਰੀ ਸਬਲ ਨੇ ਬਲ ਵਿਵੇਕ ਬੁੱਧ, ਪਰਮਾਰਥ ਪ੍ਰਵੇਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ। ਕਹੀਅਤ ਆਨ ਅਚਰੀਅਤ ਅਨ ਕਛ ਸਮਝ ਨਾ ਪਰੇ। ਅਪਰ ਮਾਇਆ ਕਹਿ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ, ਉਦਾਸ ਦਾਸ ਮਤ। ਪਰ ਹਰ ਕੋਪ ਕਰਹੁ ਜੀ ਦਇਆ। ਕਹੀਅਤ ਆਨ ਅਚਰੀਅਤ ਅਨ ਕਛ ਸਮਝ ਨਾ ਪਰੈ। ਅਪਰ ਮਾਇਆ ਕਹਿ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ, ਉਦਾਸ ਦਾਸ ਮਤ। ਪਰ ਹਰ ਕੋਪ ਕਰਹੁ ਜੀ ਦਇਆ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, today's Pavan Pitra Hukamnama Sahib from Sri Sachkhand Harmandir Sahib is on Ang 658 by Bhagat Ravidas Ji. Bhagat Ravidas Ji saying to us today that Dulab, if we literally translate it, Dulab translates to difficult. Over here, the best way for us to put it into this Pangti would be to translate Dulab Janam to be this precious life. Which life? This human form. Bhagat Ravidas Ji saying, Kende Dulab Janam Pun Fal Payo. Pun Fal. Fal means the fruits. Saying that Pun, from doing good actions, from doing good deeds in the past, in our past lives, have we been blessed with such a human form. Such a human form where we've got that opportunity to be able to serve a guru. Kende birtha jaat abhibeka. And then what Bhagat Ravidas Ji going to say. So there's one thing always best to clear very quickly, is that many people might actually have this question that, well, there's many different types of human beings, and we know that there's those type of human beings as well that are born into the houses where there's so much abuse of drugs and alcohol. That child comes into that environment, and even that is a human form as well. What good would they have done to obtain that type of life where they're growing up amongst that, and they actually take on that form of life, where they grow up being a witness to domestic abuse, and then they grow up being that way as well, and they actually take on those very things as well. When Bhagat Ravidas Ji or whichever other Guru Sahiban talks about that Dulab Janam Pun Phal Payo, they're talking about that human form that is blessed, meaning that not everyone is born into such a household as a human being where the opportunity is there for them to take that righteous path and to actually take on a guru. Sangat ji, on the other side, even if somebody is born into that type of household where everything seems to be against them, where they've got all these challenges, and where you think that it's such a unrighteous household, such an unrighteous household to be born into. But even then, as long as somebody is a human being, they might have everything against them. Yes, they might have less of an opportunity, but just being a human being means that the opportunity is still there somehow. That you can still achieve Anand, you can still live consciously. So, Sangat ji, just thought I would clear those things first before we get into the Hukamnama. This Hukamnama is like just so randomly right in the middle of the Ang. It can be a bit confusing to find sometimes. Then Paat ji say to us, Kende ke birtha jaat abhibeka. This says, but what ends up happening with many people, even though we've been given this such a blessed life as a human, kende birtha can translate to waste. Kende birtha jaat means it's past. Kende it's this life, it's actually jaat, it's gone, and we've completely wasted it. Why? Because we remained as abhibeka. So coming from the word bibek. Bibek means to have that discerning intellect, means to be able to have that intellect where we know between the difference between false and what is true. So there's that discerning intellect, meaning knowing that this is Maya, knowing that all these pleasures are temporary. So having Bibek Buddhi, having that discerning intellect means that when you have that understanding that this thing is actually temporary, it's only gonna bring me temporary satisfaction, this isn't going to last. If I become attached to this, I'm gonna set myself up for a whole load of sorrow and pain, because this is not gonna remain constant, it's not gonna remain forever. Sangajian just saying that just reminded me of something. So this Bibek Buddha is very deep. It's not just shallow and how we may sometimes take it, because often it's just translated to saying for you to be able to know the difference between pap and pun, for somebody to be able to know that what is pap is a sinful act and what is actually a good deed. But it goes further than that. So somebody might know that going out and serving the homeless that haven't got any food to eat and filling their belly, they know that that's actually a good deed to do. Speaking sweetly to somebody, they have that bibek to know that this is actually a good act to do, to be speaking sweetly to someone. And they know that. And I was thinking about this, that what is it that the Guru wants from us? The Guru is par upakar. The Guru is forever here to help others. The Guru is already liberated. The Guru aap mukt kare sansar. The Guru is the one that is mukt themselves, and Sri Sukhmani Sahib Ji Bani tells us that. And Sadhguru Ji Paat Ji say to us, kende aap mukt kare sansar. But what is their job when they come here? So they are liberated. They're not stuck in the cycle. They're here only for us. So this Guru is here to help us. Mukt kare sansar, to help us to become liberated as well. When we look at the previous Pankti Pachi, Jan ke sang chit ave now. The whole point is when we're amongst them, that we're able to connect to the name of God. And then Pachaji is telling us in the Pankti before, Jan avan ka ehe swao. The whole point of them even being here, the whole purpose of life is so that they can help us. So when Satguru Ji Pachaji gives us Bibek Buddh, when the Guru gives us this discerning intellect, who is it for? Some people say that I've made the Guru unhappy. That, you know what, if I don't get up in the morning, if I don't do this, then I'm not pleasing my Guru. But what does that even mean? It doesn't. The whole point of that is, what does it mean to please the Guru? What that means is that I know that if I'm doing something that is poisoning me, that is damaging me, that just like we used that example of somebody knows the difference between pap and pun, so they know this is a good action, so speaking sweetly. But what does the Guru get out of it? The Guru is just here for parupakar. The Guru can't get any more out of it because the Guru is complete. So what is it for the Guru? The Guru is here to help us, meaning that if we then consume poison and speak bitterly, the opposite to being sweet, we're damaging ourselves. The Guru's concern is what's happening to us. So the pleasing the Guru isn't actually for the Guru, it's actually for us. Isn't that amazing? When we look at it like that, it'll give us so much more incentive that the Guru is trying to save me. So that if I'm okay, that's what pleases the Guru, to see that if somebody think about this, you know, when you go out and help someone, whilst you are helping them and they are getting better, it makes you feel good, not in an egoistic way to think that, oh wow, look what I have done. No. If you're truly parupakari, if you're truly nehkami, if you're truly desireless, and you truly are there to just for the help of others, for the purpose of others, let's put it that way, then when they're feeling better, if they were in pain and you took that suffering away for them, it makes you feel good for them. And that's what this life is all about. Guru gives us babek bodh so we don't get damaged. It's all about us. And then if we're doing good, it's actually doing good to us. That's what it's all about. So Pachaji is saying, can we waste our life in abhibeka, meaning that not taking that discerning, that intellect and not having that understanding, and then we end up attaching ourselves to those things that are going to give us pain, and our whole life ends up going in waste like this. And then Bhagat Ravidas ji say to us, Kende Raje Indra Samsar Grahe Asana. So the king of all the deities is Raja Indra. They king. Raja means king. Indra Devta is the king of all of them. So he's said to be the king of the heavens, of where all these angelic beings actually exist. So can they but imagine if you've got such a position in this life, and you are equivalent to, samsar means equivalent to, you're equivalent to Raja Indra, and you've got that type of authority in this life, and that could be however you can relate to that. You might be a head of your house, we've got a lot of authority in your own household. You might have a really large family. You might have that position at work somewhere where you are a head of such a huge big department. Whatever it is, Sangaji, you're there. You've got that. You've got the power. You've got the Raj. Pachakande Raje Indra Samsar Grahe Asana. Grahe Asana means that the throne within your own house, within your own mansion, and whatever. Like I said, that throne for you is in whichever situation of your life you might have reached somewhere. Then Pachaji kende but there's a but. Bin har bhagat kaho keh lekhe. Kende but lekhe. What use is all of that? You reaching such a high status in your life, kende ki fayda hoya if you haven't got that devotion for Waheguru Ji. If you're not devoted in love for the whole of Waheguru Ji's creation, and it's not coming from a place of pure love, unconditional for everything, then they're saying, then what's the point of it all? then Pach ji, then Bhagat Ravidas ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਵਿਚਾਰਿਓ ਰਾਜਾ ਰਾਮ ਕੋ ਰਸ. This says you haven't vichario often it translates to contemplate, but here a better use of word, for once in my life I actually agree with what some of these English translations is consider. So in Punjabi households the parents will often say tu bichariya nahi. And what that means is, haven't you given it any thought about taking on that, like for example it could be taking on that job. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੰਮ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੂੰ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਲੈਣਾ ਸੀਗਾ. You should have considered it. So here, considered it, when I was thinking about it in the morning and I saw the translation considered come up, then I thought about, oh, how does that work? Then I thought about those scenarios, how my parents have used that word with me as growing up. So just saying how Punjabi does help in understanding Gurbani, into putting it in the right context many of times. And I know there's many of you that are from non-Punjabi backgrounds that watch this katha, and there are many of you that are from Punjabi backgrounds but haven't had that type of upbringing to be where you wasn't exposed to that type of Punjabi. So Pachi kende na bichariyo raja ram ko ras, kende you haven't given any consideration to the Raja, the true king. Forget Indra Devta. This says the true king, which is Ram, which is that one that is omnipresent, that one that is immersed into everything. Ram Ramya hoya kende that Vaheguru Ji. So remember we said devotion to having that unconditional love for everything in life, because that one is in everything. Kende ko rasa. Sangaji, that literal translation to rasa, even though here you're going to see it translate to sublime essence, but if you look up, even if you go into the dictionary, and you can go into the Oxford Dictionary, and if you look up the word essence, but one of the translations to essence is, so I think it's about the third translation that will come up, is when you extract something, the juice out of something. It could be out of, like for example, I think the other day my wife gave me some aloe vera, you know, the actual extracts that come out of the leaf, because I've got this cirrhosis on my hand, and so she gave that to put onto my hand, and so you get that out of there, and the juice that comes out of something. So this is now Guru Bhagat Ravidas Ji saying, have you even experienced that juice that comes out of Vaheguru Ji? That when, and how do you get that juice? You get that juice out of when a guru gives you naam. And when you recite that naam, and when you connect it inside, there's this sweetness that takes over. There's this juice that starts to flow inside of you. And that juice then overflows and it goes into every aspect of your life. But first, it comes in that way. It comes from the guru who has perfected that naam, and that has experienced naam inside of them, that has got the ras themselves. They've got that juice, the true essence of life, the ever-flowing juice inside for all of life, where it starts from the guru who's got it, and then the guru transmits it into you. But for you to keep it bubbling, you have to then practice it. And then, but you might not feel it straight away. But when the Panj Pyare give it to you, so within the Sikh Panth, for us to receive that is through going through the initiation of Khande Bate, the Amrit of receiving Naam from the Panj Pyare. So what happens often is with many people, they receive it, and then what happens is they might not, they feel a buzz, because the Panj Pyare given their kamai, they've given some of their earnings and what their energy, they've placed it into us, and then they're flowing for a little while, but then it can dry out. Or we might not even feel it. So for those of you that haven't received Khande Bhatte the Amrit, for you to be able to to be able to relate to this in this way, that many of you have experienced in your life, in Kirtan, whether you're Amritari or not, it's irrelevant. You felt that juice flowing inside of you. And then, when is it true that if you're feeling full of love and full of joy from inside, you're feeling so pleasant from inside, does anybody have to tell you then at that point that make sure that you are nice to someone? Make sure you treat somebody with love. No, they don't have to tell you. Once you find that juice inside of yourself, all you will have is that ras, all you will have is that flowing love to spread and to give to others. You know yourself that somebody could come at you and they could be in the worst mood possible. They could be agitated, they could be full of anger, and they come at you with that, but you're there, you're full of this love. And it doesn't matter to you what they are feeling, because all you will have then to give them is that love. But it's about finding it in ourselves first. You've experienced it. Many of you that are watching this at some point in your life, in Kirtan or somewhere, but you don't always have it. And then sometimes it dries out. And then sometimes you question it, that will I ever get it back? Or there are those, I had a message yesterday, I'm not sure if it was in one of the comments of the kathas, it was somewhere anyway. Could have been in a comment or a direct message that was sent on one of our social media platforms, or even on my personal platform. I can't remember where I read it. And he said that he doesn't feel anything at all. And then he said that I don't think Sikhi is for me then. Sangaji, so this ras is what we're all after. This sweetness, this juice inside. And when we say Vaheguru and it's just fireworks. Listen to Kirtan, it's fireworks. And then it spreads into every aspect of our life. But the truth is, so there's about 3 categories here. Let's understand this. So one could be where somebody still hasn't experienced it because they've just not given it a go yet. There's those people. Obviously they've not experienced it if they've not given it a go. They've not even allowed themselves, open their hearts to trying to recite the mantra and to listen to Kirtan. And then there's those that have felt it at some point but don't feel it all the time. And then there's some people that have felt it and then it just hasn't come again. And then there's those that have been feeling great. It's the juice has been flowing, but all of a sudden, bang, something happens and it's gone. And then you're desperate to get it back. And then there's those that have been trying and trying and trying and trying for years and years and years. Still no juice, no connection, no flowing love. Habits, everything stay the same. So we've got about 4 different scenarios there. And let's look at what Bhakt Ravidas ji is saying to us. Kende jeh ras, this is but when you experience that connection, that flow of juice, that overflowing, then that love that comes from that connection. They say kende jeh ras, an ras, kende then any other pleasures other than this is the highest experience you could ever experience in your life. But then all other then the second ras would be translated to pleasures. All other pleasures of life, anras bisar jahi, then you won't have to make an effort to give anything up. All those other little pleasures that you got, they will just be gone. Then it won't be the pleasure of your tongue dictating to you then what you eat. Then you eat consciously of what this body requires. Then it won't be the pleasure of what you got of whether it be that having physical relationships with your partner. That experience, that pleasure won't be dictating your life. Even that you will then carry out, everything will just become conscious then. It doesn't mean you don't enjoy food anymore. It doesn't mean you don't enjoy that relationship with your partner anymore. It does not mean that you don't enjoy these things anymore. But then there's those pleasures that were actually anti-gurmat, that weren't within Vivek Buddhi, like for example intoxications of some form of whatever it may be. But then these relationships outside of marriage, they will just be gone completely, because we've now because what is it, we're trying to get that pleasure, aren't we? But once we've got it from inside without any outside stimuli, where we've not needed anything from outside, imagine if you now just got it from direct inside, then you won't feel that need, will you, to run around and trying to get it from everywhere else. Yes, then if you have really tasty food, you'll enjoy it, but there won't be no addiction. There won't be that taste then dictating you going back to that. You'll be free, liberated. But now let's answer that question. Let's look at a pangti where Satguru Ji Pach kende bikhe ban fika tyag ri sakhiye kende naam maha ras piyo. Over here Satguru Ji Pach ji saying to us kende bikhe ban fika tyag ri sakhiye. Kahan lage Pach ji kende bikhe ban fika. Kende, you know, all those things that are tasteless, fika, bikhe ban. Ban here is the water of what? Of poison. Kende, those things that are so bad for you, bikhe ban fika, and now they become tasteless. Why? Why don't you just let go of them? Kende, those things that are so bad for you and that are killing you, that are poisoning you. So when we're getting poisoned and then the Guru isn't pleased, not because the Guru is angry with us saying, oh you naughty boy, oh you naughty girl, I'm so angry with you. The Guru is beyond anger and all of these things. The Guru is displeased in which way? It's for us. Saying, oh look, you're killing yourself. Is that really what you want to be doing to yourself? But it goes further than that. The Guru's displeased isn't just you. Remember I said that if you're feeling the juice, you're going to spread the juice. Even if somebody comes at you with poison, you're just going to have only love to give back to them. So Guru's going to be pleased because now you're spreading that to everyone else as well. But now what's happened? Now because you're feeling bitter from inside, you're frustrated, these little pleasures that you was getting out of drugs and alcohol or whatever it was, you being raw to somebody, speaking raw to it was because you wasn't feeling good yourself. When you're not feeling good from inside, because you haven't done anything in your life to get to that point from where you got the juice flowing from inside, then you actually spread that poison, and then you're nasty to other people as well. Then it has a knock-on effect. But then somebody can say, well, this is the maharas, drink that. But I've tried. I can't connect and keep. I've tried and it's not working for me. And the other thing is, some people say that since I've started to jap naam, it's actually become worse for me. I now actually I hear this so many times. They said, I have crazy thoughts. They say that I have such thoughts that I couldn't even imagine. I didn't even have these before. When I was there living my life, slandering, drinking, doing all of this, I didn't even have these disgusting thoughts to that level before. And now I'm having the most disgusting thoughts, the most graphic sexual thoughts you could ever imagine. I'm getting thoughts of killing people. These are the type of things I hear. Why? Bhai Gurdas Ji clear this for us. Bhai Gurdas Ji say to us, Kende, Kanchan ashuddh jyo, kuthari ठहरात नहीं, Kende shuddh peh hai, neh chal chhab ke chhakat hai. So this is actually a Bhagat Kabir Ji's, this is one of the kabits. So kabit means poem. So Bhai Gurdas Ji kende kanchan ashuddh jyo, kende just like that gold is impure, meaning it's got dirt in it, and those that have got any experience with working with gold or know anything about gold, those that of you that have had been in that line of being a goldsmith. So my wife comes from that background, and I actually asked her this question, and she said, yeah, she goes, that's true, she's seen that, because she's seen her mum doing the work. She's saying, and then Bhai Gurdas kehndi kanchan ashuddh jo kuthari tehrat nahi. They said when it's in that bowl, in that crucible, that where you actually put the gold in there and you heat it, when you give it loads of heat and it's got dirt in it, it'll move around like crazy. Kehndi kanchan, and that's exactly what happens when you do Naam Simran. You know what happens? So what happens is that you say, I'm not, all those scenarios I've given, those 4 or 5 scenarios, whichever one you fit into, this example will answer all of it, all of the scenarios. So now that dirt that is inside of us from many lifetimes, or from this life, all these crazy things that we've been doing in our life, all that slander, all that bitterness, all that poison that's been inside of us now, it might have been sat dormant, where it's just sat there inside of us. So that then could have all been in our subconscious mind. So why do we feel worse? Why can't we connect? So it's all because of this dirt. Because of that dirt, we're not able to find that connection. There's no clarity, we can't see through. And then it starts to bubble up. What are the crazy thoughts when you're sitting down doing Naam Simran? Na unu hala ditta. You know, when some people say, they say, oh, you know, if there's a wild dog there, and then you say that, shh, be quiet, make sure you don't disturb it. Once you disturb it, that's it, it's gonna go crazy. But this is dirt that we want to disturb. So it's different to that example. This is something we want to disturb, and we give it the heat of the Guru Shabad. We give it the heat through Naam Simran, Gurbani. As we start to hit it, then those from the subconscious mind and they start to come up, and those are the crazy thoughts now that are coming up. It's from the dirt, and they are actually on their way out. They are leaving us. But what happens is, as they are leaving us, we freak out. We think, oh my God, what is this? So we think that, you know what, this isn't good, this isn't right, this is messing me up, this is making me feel worse. And then, so what we do is we say, we give up. We say, I'll try something else. No, that means it was working. If once it's going crazy, they said that gold is going crazy, all that happened is we didn't wait it out for it to get to that point where it goes to the next bit. Kende shuddh pe. Once we start to get cleaner and cleaner, shuddh pe nehchal, we would have become still. We would have stopped moving around like crazy. Meaning eventually the mind would have started to take. But some people are saying, but I've been at it for so many years. So why? For one, we are carrying many lifetimes of karam, could be negative actions, and that we're getting rid of them, or even emotions that we are holding, things that we have been through. Somebody may have been raped, abused in their youth, in their past lives. All of that is now leaving us, where it's been affecting us and keeping us, not letting us connect to people. But Sangaji, or the biggest one is we keep putting more dirt back in. So we do Naam Simran, we sit into Kirtan, we do Seva, we serve, and we're doing it correctly as well. There's no desire behind it. And then we're getting cleaner, the panda's getting washed, but then we go down straight away, sit in the langar hall, or we go down with the wife, speak raw bitter to her again, or then we slander straight away again, putting the dirt back in. So it's not that we're even dirtier, but we just remain about the same. That's why we don't see no progression. So we still keep moving around, no progression. Or then what happens is you become really clean, And then in Punjabi they would say kende oh karm oda agge aa gaya. And then now some of the really fine little pieces of dirt that are left, you're becoming really clean now. The heat, you're really giving it some heat. You're becoming still, start to get that anand. And all of a sudden, something bang happens after years, and everything goes. All your ras goes, all your juice goes, everything goes. Your thoughts go crazy. What's happened is there's subtle pieces of dirt of things that we've done left in our subconscious mind that are really fine, that the heat's managed to get to it, and all of a sudden it comes up. But if we focus on it and go with it, we can end up going back into that dirt. We could just get one thought that comes in our mind. It could be one lustful thought. It was just on its way out, but then we've grabbed it. And then we think, oh, why did I get that thought? Is it because I'm still like that? And we start being silly about it. No, it's not because we're like that. It's because it was just something that was still sitting there, needed to be cleared. So it's a process. So should pe neh chal, then what will happen is, then shab means we'll be shining. Then people will be able to see, oh wow, once somebody becomes pure inside, it'll become obvious. You'll be in so much anand inside, and people will see the anand. They'll want some of that anand. You'll be shining to people. Shab ke love will be oozing out of you. Shab ke shakat hai. Shakat sangat ji. What that means is, then kende oho kisse nu jadon sona lagda, that's it. Then you will start looking so beautiful to others. But we have to ride it out. And it's not always easy in the beginning. In the beginning you might not feel anything, but it's all to do with this. I told you this will answer everything. There's too much dirt. We can't see from the past, not connecting. We need to keep at it. Okay? And so Bhagat Bhai Gurdas ji explained to us. In the beginning it might be very dry, it might be very difficult. But it's just like sila aluni chattani, sadhana pujje. Sila aluni chattani. Sila is like, it could be almost like a stone, licking a stone. Sila aluni, it's got no salt, so saltless. Sila aluni chattani. But sadhana pujje. But sadhana pujje lakh meva. But you could eat all the different types of fruits that are so sweet. Lakh. You could try hundreds of thousands of different fruits that are so sweet. But sadhana pujje. But the taste you get out of this path that seems so difficult, sila aluni chattani. It's a difficult path, waking up in the morning. It's not sweet. The sleep is sweet. That's the obvious sweet. But what we get, the fruits that we get out of, the difficult part of getting out of that sleep, that is the stone. Sitting down for hours, that is the stone. But what we get out of it is so immense. It's sweeter than hundreds of thousands of different types of sweets that these fruits that give you. So Sangaji, my one thing that I can say to the Sangat from this is, ride it out. You understand it now. Once you understand it, this is what Vichar of Bani is. Vichar of Bani is that when it happens to you now, you'll think, oh, the Guru's already warned me about this. It's working. I'm going to carry on. Or it's happened suddenly, and then oh, there was something really subtle left inside of me, and I've erupted that as well for whatever reason, and then oh, I'm just going in circles here. It's because you keep putting more dirt back in. Be conscious. Think about it. Sit down in the evening and reflect. What am I doing to put dirt back in where it's not working for me? So Sangaji, this should answer so many questions for you. Sache Pachaji, and then he's saying to us here, Jeh ras anras bisar jahi rahao. Can they reflect on this? Jaan ajan pe hum babar. Bhagat Ravidas ji, can they jaan ajan? Sometimes they're saying jaan. Knowingly, we have so much knowledge in our life, the right things we need to do. We know that this is poison and I need to stop consuming this. We know that slander is poison and we know it. Can they ajan pe? Can they? But we still end up becoming that one that knows nothing, meaning that still ends up doing it. Knowingly, we still end up becoming somebody almost like that doesn't even know the right thing what to do. So this is now really dangerous. Kande hum babar, kande this is crazy. I'm crazy. Kande just like Bhagat Kabir ji say to us, kande Kabir man janat sab baat janat hi augan kare. Now this is a katha on its own. I haven't got time now. I didn't think I was going to spend so much time on the previous part, but that was very important to answer so many questions. But this now I'll have to cover on another day because this is a katha on its own. I know everything, janati ho gana kare, then still I end up making those mistakes. Kande kahe ki kushlat, kande then that knowledge has done no good for me. Kahe kushlat means when something gives us happiness. Kande it's given me, what's that knowledge done for me? Kahe ki kushlat hath deep. I've even got the lantern, I've even got the lamp, the light in my hand, kande kuwe pare, but I'm still falling into that well. And this is where it becomes, this is, of course now I'm going to call myself crazy for this. Kande jaan ajan pe hum babar. I know that waking up Amrit Vela is going to give me some, it's not going to please or make my guru angry at me. My guru is going to be displeased if I don't wake up because my guru knows how much I am missing out on, the fruits that I can get from it. Kande jaan ajan pe, I'm crazy now. I know all of this, still not being able to do it. Kande soch asoch devas jahi. My now days are passing from just constantly thinking, having all these negative thoughts in my mind, going round and round, thinking, yeah, look, I know that is good, I know I need to do that, asoch. Then talking myself out of it as well. Then going right, U-turn, saying, well, no, this is why I can't wake up, because of this, I can't do it because of that. My whole day is passing like this. Bhagat Ravidas ji saying, Kinde Indri Sabal. Kinde what's happened here is, Kinde Nibal Bibek. So when we look at this, Pachi saying, Kinde Indri, Kinde what's happened is that, the pleasure that these senses are getting from doing certain things, they become very strong. Indri, this is why now even knowingly I keep failing. So Indri Sabal means they become so strong now, these senses. They are leading my life for me, just like we said at the beginning. Are we going to live consciously, or are we going to let the tongue decide how we live? Are we going to allow our ears decide how we're going to live? And this is what happens. The Indriyas become so powerful now. Nibal bebek. And even though I've got the discerning, look at this, I've got the discerning intellect from my guru, but I'm weak because my Indriya, my senses have overpowered me. Kende bebek buddha, Nibal becomes so weak. Kende pramarth praves nahi. I'm not able to fly and enjoy that ras of that Waheguru Ji's juice. Pachi कहने कहने कहियत आन अचरियत अन कच समझ ना परे अपर माया. Sangaji Pachi ji here is saying to us, कहने कहियत आन. कहने we end up saying one thing because we want to do it. We say that yeah, look, I really want to do this. I really want to get up in the morning. I really want to stop slandering. I want to be more sweet now. कहने कहियत आन. They say one thing, but Achariyat means, but what ends up happening, their actions, Achariyat an kach, they end up doing something else though. they do the complete opposite. They end up just waking up and think, oh, just a bit more sleep. They end up doing, then just saying, oh, but just, you know what, let me just quickly tell you this thing about them, and then end up slandering, and then, you know it all as well. Still not actually getting it, that this is damaging you. Apar Maya, because this now Maya is so beyond us, it's endless. And then Sangat ji, then Paach ji say to us, Kende Keh Ravidas, Udas, Das, Mat, Parhar. You're thinking, oh, we've just taken a U-turn. What do we do now? Bhagat Ravidas ji is doing something amazing for us. Bhagat Ravidas ji, somebody that is there, they're saying, oh, you know, when I read this line this morning, it's just come back to me what it means. And that's why I had a little moment there. You know, Bhagat Ravidas, you know, our Guru Nanak Dev Ji, you know how I said they don't judge us in the way we think. They don't get angry with us in the way we think. Bhagat Ravidas ji is so beautiful. Such a gentle soul. Bhagat Ravidas ji kende Keh Ravidas, kende what I'm saying now is to you, Vaheguru ji, kende udas. Das, kende, you know your servant, Vaheguru ji, Bhagat Ravidas ji, kende, I feel udas, I feel sad. Not in the way, Sangat ji, where their bliss has been taken away for them, where they're in sorrow. No, not that type of udas. In which way? I feel sad for someone. Not they're not sad. Kende udas, I feel sad for. Kende mat parhar. Those that Bhagat Ravidas ji is saying. So Viji, the next pangati, Kende Keh Ravidas, udas Das mat kende. So then kende, I feel for those udas mat kende, you know, for those that have got this type of intellect now, that they even know but they're still not able to do it. Kende parhar kop, they said, Vaheguru ji, can they put aside whatever you feel towards them? Anger, obviously we know Vaheguru ji doesn't get angry, but it's just, you know, this is language. Language cannot actually do complete justice to Vaheguru ji. Just for us to understand, Bhagat Ravidas ji saying, I feel sad for those that have fallen into that trap, even knowingly what is the right thing, they're not able to do it. So they said, Vaheguru ji, just put aside your anger, and this is Karaho ji there, and please bless them with your daya, bless them with your kindness. Beautiful, isn't it? Bhagat Ravidas ji doing that ardas for us. So let's do that ardas. Say, Vaheguru ji, say, look, yes, I know I can be a big flop, but please, 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 you know, just put aside whatever, however I'm displeasing you, Vaheguru ji, and, you know, shower me with your kindness so that I'm able to, you know, sit down and experience that juice and do the right things. Because if we do the right thing accordingly to Vaheguru ji's law, then the right thing will happen. So that I can do the right thing where I can get that juice flowing inside of me. Sangat ji, you know what, I focused a lot in the beginning part of the whole, you know, the dirt aspect, and I forgot how much jewels were left in this Hukamnama. So if this Hukamnama comes, I'll spend more time on this part next time. So, you know, Mahapurkhs, saints, Gurmukhs, they actually do ardas for the likes of me, and saying, they feel udas and saying, Vaheguru ji, that idiot, me, this, I'm talking about me, I can't talk for anyone else. And it's so, imagine a Mahapurkh, this has happened to me many of times in my life, where that Mahapurkh is saddened in the state I'm in, and the Mahapurkh has said, Vaheguru ji, you know what, please do something, shower him with your kindness. So it'd be, you know, getting Gurmukhs to pity us and doing that ardas for us, and Sangat ji doing it for ourselves as well. So itni ek benti hai Prabhan. एक नहीं पर अनेक ही गलतियां हो गई हैं, अनजान बच्चा समझ के बख्श देना। सो संग जी बलाओ फतेह और आल मिल के वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। वाहिगुरु वाहिगुरु।